As it's now October, it's time for some Halloween crafting. So welcome to MoggyBoxCraft. I'm Deborah, and today I'm going to show you how I made this giant Gothic inspired wreath. The first thing you're going to need is a hula hoop. I think my hula hoop is about 70 centimeters in diameter, across the middle, but you could do this on a smaller hula hoop, or you could use one of these. It's a metal flower wreath base. You would have to take off the inner circle, so you're just left with one hoop, and it might be a little bit more fiddly, but you could do this in miniature size and it would look really cool on your front door. I'm also going to be using this beautiful crushed red velvet. This is just scrap material I had left over, and I've just cut off some strips so it's easier to work with and wrap around my hula hoop. And of course a trusty glue gun, because ain't nobody's got time for normal glue drying times. Quick and easy, fast drying, but don't burn yourself. So that seems to be one of my favourite things to do. I'm going to start by covering up this red and gold hula hoop. Pop a little bit of glue onto your hula hoop, that should do it. And then stick the material into the glue. Then you're going to wrap your material around your hula hoop to cover up whatever colour your hula hoop is. Make it look a little bit more luxurious and not like a plastic hula hoop. Once you've wrapped the material around a few times, maybe up to 30 centimetres, pop on another little bit of glue. Then wrap the material into the glue, and that will help hold it in place. So just keep wrapping, adding little bits of glue and wrapping the material into it. Secure that edge down, pop the end of the material into it, and then add more material strips until your hoop is completely covered. So once your hula hoop is completely covered in that material, it's time to add some details by adding an abstract spider web using this red wool that pretty much matches the colour of that red velvet, which is completely accidental that I even had this. I think Andy bought it to make pom-poms out of it because he was going for a clown for Halloween. He needed pom-poms for his shoes. Anyway, this part is a bit open to interpretation. I'm only going to cover the top half of this hoop. I'm going to start by tying the end of the wool to the hula hoop. Tie it nice and securely with a double knot. I'm going to add a tiny amount of glue under there just to try and keep it secure, and then snip off this end. I tie it in a diagonal downwards to here. The string does get a little bit tangled occasionally. Do a little knot. There we go. You want that to be nice and tight. I'm going to add another little bit of glue under there. Take it back to here. There we go. You're going to want all of these really taut and really tight. You do not want them to be loose or slack, or it's not going to be the best. So I'm going to take this one, I think up here. Tiny little blobs of glue. Continue crisscrossing your lines or pieces of string. So from here, I'm going to start using smaller lengths of wool, because jamming this ball of wool through all the little gaps is a bit of a pain. I'm just going to make things as easy as possible for myself. Leave a good bit. That'll do. So now I'm left with a much smaller length of wool or rope, which will be much easier weaving between each section. And some of them you can just twist around the hula hoop if you don't want to tie it. I'm going to start zigzagging it and crisscrossing all these ropes. So we start getting a more interesting pattern starting to happen. Some of these I will have to tie. Might end that there. Lovely. So the trick to this, every now and again, pick it up, stand back and have a little look at how it's looking. And if you're happy with how it looks, you're doing a good job. I think mine needs a little bit more here, but it's coming together pretty well. So I'm just going to continue adding. I think I will add another little piece here. How much more of this still am I going to need? Hopefully not loads. I think that'll do. You know, it will all come together. Yeah. better. So as I'm doing this, I'm going completely by eye and how it looks, or how I think it's looking best. I would highly recommend you do the same. Pretty sure it's going to be different every time I do this. And carry on just tying knots in wherever you think is appropriate. It does just help hold everything in place better and keep all the bits where you want them to be. Or if you find it easier to work with and not such of a tangle, do just use smaller lengths. So how is this looking now? Yeah, I think the only one I don't like, is that one? Yeah, I think that just needs to be there. Tie that in place and my abstract spider web is done. Now on to the messy bit. Time to add some black glitter leaves and roses. I've got this faux fake vines with this black glitter on it and some feathers. They come with these fake roses. This is in such a tangle. So I got these artificial vines a few years ago from the range. I've never really known what to do with them until now. So I'm only going to add the fake foliage to the bottom half of my hula hoop. Maybe not even the whole bit where the string is, maybe just where my hands are to here. So as this comes in a great long vine, I am going to break it up to make it a little bit easier for myself to attach it to the wreath. Although I can't find pliers, so I've got scissors. They are quite old scissors, because I won't be cutting anything after this. Try and cut them into more manageable sections. I think that is the plan. I think my glue gun's just blown up. Oh no, have I just got glue on my top? Or my hair maybe, I don't know. So my glue gun has just blown up. It's okay though, I've got a spare. Let's continue separating this foliage. So for this next part, we're going to attach said foliage. But you want it to look good on both sides, so bear that in mind while you're doing it. Take your little sections of not greenery. I like to work from the middle. Place my leaves on there. And wind this little bit of wire around. That should help keep it a little bit more secure. Then add a little bit of glue. We are going to cover this up as we go. Now pick one with a rose on it. And figure out where you'd like it to go. Lift these out of the way. And then just twist this little end wire into place. And again, a little bit of glue. And while that glue is still hot, I'm going to press this flower into it so it hides it. And then I'm just going to position the vines around it so I'm happy with them. And it's so much easier doing this with a bunch of leaves that are stuck together like this, rather than individual little vines or leaves or flowers. That takes ages. At least you can do a clump at one time. What do I want to do there? I think the hardest bit is deciding where each bit should go. Just keep moving the flowers and vines around until you're happy with it and stick it down in place. One more with a rose here. So twist round and look something like that. Add some glue, and once it's dry, just manoeuvre your leaves back into the right place. So keep adding the foliage until you're happy with it. And remember to add foliage to the back as well. Because if it's going in a window, you want it to look good on both sides. So once it's all been assembled and you've got foliage on both sides, it's time to hide some of that glue blobs. I want to hide some of this stuff. I'm going to work along here, repositioning some of these leaves to try and hide some of this glue marks. Little blob of glue, pop that leaf in there. It screams Halloween, but like not Halloween, if you know what I mean. And there you have it. Beautiful, giant, Gothic inspired wreath for Halloween. So to hang this in my window, I'm going to be using that clear fishing wire, just so it looks like it's floating in the window. But you could just hammer it on a nail into a wall. I think I'd like to put this up all year round, to be honest. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, share and subscribe. Of course, subscribing is optional, but it is very much appreciated. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!